let's turn off auto scale. Oops, let's off fixed scale. There it is. There's my little profile. And is that distorted? No, it's not. Shall we put it in distorted mode? Why not? Let's do 2200 scale. So distorted at 10:1, as is typical of road profiles. There we go. Now it's going down pretty steep. Great. So, well, I'm branching off of a road here, and the grade on that road, by the way, is 3%. And we're starting to go downhill, so I better not go down too fast. We're going to have a strong grade break there. Let's say minus 3% for my first leg. I'm going to zoom back a little bit. Okay, we want to go up here. What if I just did that? There's what the profile looks like. You can see that's pretty steep. And you can also see that the average grade from this point to that point is 20%. Okay, well, considering it's going down and back up again, there's no way we're going to do it in a straight line. So I look at the contours and I think to myself, where's the best place to go? Well, it looks like I need to cross this valley, and I'm just going to hide the profile for a minute so I got more room in the plan here. And it looks like there's a good spot for a switchback. I think it's over here. Let's just see where we go. Pegging kind of leads you along. So here we go. We're going to go down the hill. 16%, too steep. Back up a bit. 1%, not steep enough. Okay. How about there? Minus 4, minus 10. That looks reasonable. And that's a 50-meter leg. Okay. We're going to see a lot. Minus 27. Okay. Minus 8. Minus 11. That seems reasonable. So we're a logging road. Minus 19%. Holy smoke, there's a steep gully right in there. It's not clear from looking at the contours. They're only 5 meters apart. And if I go across, of course, it's going to be flat. Oops. Minus 6%. We'll take a look at that more carefully when we look at the profile. Actually, you can see it right now. How wide is that gully? Well, I can see it right on my profile. It looks like about, I can't read the font, it's too small, 10 meters across. Oh, that's bridge width. We're not going to go down in and back out again. Let's just go right across. That makes more sense. Okay, back up the other side. Let's sort of go over to here. So we got some room to start pegging. And now I'm going to start going up the hill. 27%. Let's try and keep it around 12 if possible. 13, that's reasonable. 12, okay, there we go. And then we'll go along here. Now I could just jump along like this until I get 12%. But, you know, I think you're going to need more curves in here. So I'll go back and do shorter legs. 36, 9%, 12%, 2%. 8%, 10%, close enough. 8%, 16%, 11%. That looks good. Now this is pretty steep side hill here. In fact, I think there's a tool that we can turn on, actually a display, that shows the side hill. So I'm just going to find that. 10 side shots. That seems reasonable. Average side shot, or left or right. Let's just use average, see what that shows us. And I'll shift that up so it's above the slope. Good, okay. So there we are, that's a 44% side hill. And we just did a 9% grade. Let's go a touch higher, 12%. Now the average side shot there says 15%. There's a length associated with that, by the way. I can't remember exactly where it is. $15, let's go down a little bit. 10, okay. 29, up a little, oops, too far. 21, 8, 15. You get the idea. You can feel your way along the slope. This is going to be full bench cut probably because my side slope is pretty steep. It's not hugely steep, but it's pretty steep. Now, now we're getting into the switchback area. There we go, 10%. Let's do a switchback here. So that distance there is 43. In other words, if I made a switchback that shape, it would be 20 meters radius. Okay, sounds reasonable. Let's do it about like that. Minus 37%, oh sorry, 16%, that's too steep. And now we'll try and rise up to that point there, again, at roughly %. Oh, this is tricky. Keep looking at the wrong number. Oops, that's close enough. Now I probably should go in and out of this gully, but you know what? I can do that later. Let's just get to the place we're going. Okay, this one probably should be a little higher. 13%. That one's 12%, and we're there. Road pegging. Now I did that on this one terrain. I can do as many as I want. I got this one done. I'm pretty happy with it. And let's take a look at all the points in there. So this is the points window. It's set up in my screen layout, but just to give you an idea how I got it, it was window, new window, text, points. And a points window can show you various features about points on a feature. I'm just going to add the selected feature, which is the one I just pegged. There it is. And I set this up beforehand to do the average slope. So you can see it's going down to the creek there and then back up. And there's no giant grades in there. Oops, there's a big one. But mostly it looks okay. There's the easting and the northing in there. You can also put in, let's add the side slope. Average side slope. This information can actually be exported. So right now, we have enough information here to do a really rough cost estimate. We got length of road, we've got average side slope, and we've got the grade. So that's going to give us some valuable information. And this can be exported. You could do some rough costing on this. Do we want to build this road or not? Is this a reasonable way to get to that point? By the way, this is a road. What if we wanted to do cable analysis? We could just draw in a new feature here. Let's call it D-line. Another draped feature, draw it with the mouse from there down to there. What does that look like in cross-section? My profile right now is still showing the road. Here's a little trick. You can change the feature that a profile is looking at in the options, but there's a speed key for that. So right now the option says I'm looking at spur 1. I could change that. But I just drew a new feature, so it's selected. If I type F5, there's that D-line feature. You can see it's now saying in the title here, D-line 0. And again, we are looking at a 10-to-1 distortion. So maybe for D-lines, you want to turn that back to not 10-to-1. There it is, undistorted. So there's a lot of planning you can do inside the terrain module. Back to the plan window. There's my little D-line. Here's my road. I do actually want to do another road along here. We'll do that later. Now let's design this road. Save this. Put it on my hard drive. Let's call it demo. Log for original ground. Now this has a surface in it, and it also has this line that I've just drawn that represents my new road center line. That feature is selected. So now I'm going to go into my location module and actually build a road. File New. Find our folder. There's the design, or pardon me, the surface that I just saved. I'll pick that as my current, or my original ground. And I get this option, use the current feature all points. There it is, there's my road. Now it looks pretty crappy right now, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Let's just sort that out. First of all, what template are we using? Now I have my template table set up to have the default template look like a forest road, but one of the interesting things about this is it's using automatic fill slope for cut and fill on the outside. So my fill slope looks like garbage until I give it a reasonable material type. So let's do that. The default material that's being assigned as fill is existing layer 1. Well, that sounds reasonable. What is existing layer 1? Under assign parameters by range, I can change what materials in the ground. So let's put in something sensible there. How about hardpan? Okay, obviously you can set up your own materials here. I encourage you to do that. And each material comes with its own properties. So hardpan has got a cut slope and a fill slope that are well defined. You can change all that stuff. Right, so I'm applying hardpan, add, edit everywhere, and immediately my cross-section will sort itself out because now I have a reasonable material in the ground. And is everything else okay about that cross-section? It looks okay. It's about 3 meters wide each side, or 6 meters total. It's got some crown on it, and seems reasonable for a forest road. Immediately looking at this, I now see an issue here. Looks like that should be full bench cut. This is where we've got our steep side hill. Okay, well, let's start designing the road. Now, the road pegging I did in the terrain module. You can sort of do that in the location as well. There's nothing wrong with me going to the end of the road here and adding more alignment. The problem is that the average grade between the point that I just created and the previous point is not easy to figure out in the location module. We're going to add some more pegging features to allow you to do that. So maybe in the future, that whole process of drawing the alignment and watching the grade, watching the side slopes, maybe you'll do that in the location module. The process will be the same. Okay, so let's look at the, first of all, I think I'm going to put in a couple of horizontal curves. There's really no correct order in this, so that's why I'm hesitating. I think I'll put the horizontal curves in first. You can do it after the fact too, but this is such a sharp corner. I want to make sure that it's a reasonable radius. So I'm going to put in a horizontal curve. I'll just get a different screen layout that's set up for me. Screen layouts are so powerful because you can, at the click of a button, have all the stuff available, like, for example, the horizontal curve panel and the mass haul diagram that you set up once before, but you don't have to remember how you did it. Okay, so I want to put in a curve around this switchback. I can't do it with one curve. I have to have at least 2 IPs, so I'm going to put 1 IP over there, delete this one, move that one over a little bit. There we go. And let's put some curves on there. So what does my default curve look like? Okay, there's a lot of detail in here. If you were building a, this is the settings in the screen layout. If you were building a rural road, public road, you'd probably want to see all this stuff, super elevation table, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not. I'm building a forest road. I'm just going to make it more simple. First of all, I'm going to reduce my minimum radius to 25.